Hello and welcome back to Zoosa Plays, where it's time for our 7th game of the season with Zoosa's players, and we're playing Blood Bowl 2. You can see our players over here, and you'll see that the screen is a bit strange. That's because I totally messed up the recording. I played the game with the wrong settings, so it didn't catch any of the video. It caught all the audio, but I think you would rather see visual representation of the game, and I didn't want to put up a black screen video that was an hour or longer. So instead, I'm gonna be trying something different. There is a function in the game to watch a replay of a game. I haven't really used it because, I haven't, but I might be able to do this to watch a replay of that game and show you that instead, now that I've gotten everything sorted out. I've tried to match it with my audio from the previous file, but it doesn't really work because the replay runs, well, all the moves are at the same speed. You don't really see where my cursor is, you don't really see the timing is all wrong, so it doesn't work to use the audio, unfortunately. So instead, I will be doing post commentary for the whole match, and we will see if that works out. Now, before the game started, and which unfortunately was lost, I got a replacement for our injured lineman Artia, and they were named Artia II because no one had suggested any names. And also, they're not a lineman anymore, they are a third thrower. What did I say? Thrower? I meant catcher, of course. They're a third catcher, so they have more movement but a little less armor. So the armor didn't save them the first time, so might as well go for extra movement, right? And anyway, I then looked at our opposition, and they are a Chaos team. They have 15 players, so they have 3 extra. I didn't really notice that, but that's why their team value is actually higher than ours. So we will get some inducement money, and I spent that inducement money and 20,000 extra to get a wizard. And our opposition bought a Bloodweiser Bay, but I think that's everything you need to know before the game. So let's just go and watch the replay down here. I have a screen so you can't see the result here, which you would see anyway. So I will click watch replay, and there we go. And once this screen is gone, I will get rid of the overlay, like so. And here we go. Now I'll try to make this as interesting as possible. Even though I won't be playing, I will instead be trying to remember what I was thinking, which might be entertaining, I suppose. So here are our players. This is the new player, Artia. He actually got number 5 because I moved him to be in line with the other catchers, number 4 and number 3 here. And therefore our thrower is now number 6, for those of you keeping track. Don't you have anything better to do? This is our opponent's Chaos team. They don't have a Minotaur. They have, well, 4 Chaos Warriors, I think, or yeah, 4 of them. And other than that, nothing really special, except for their extra guys. The coin toss was, well, I won't spoil it, let's see. Yes, we lost the coin toss, and they chose to start. So I started by not putting the thrower on the line. I was putting linemen over here, and I then moved up our new lineman / actually runner to support the line. I didn't want him right on the front because he has one lower arm here. I kicked the ball. There was a nice weather, nothing special. The ball ends up right in front of the feet, and the AI started playing. Here he comes, goes on the side. You know what it is? He thought he would pick up the ball, but he didn't. and he spreads out as the AI typically do, and he marks off down the left flank. Seems to be his tactic to go down our left flank. Here he goes for the ball, and he managed to pick it up on the first try. Here comes a blitz right on the lineman, which he could have tackled normally with his line, but instead he knocks him down, no injury, no stun, no armor break, I should say. He goes for more people down the left side, so it's quite obvious he wants to move this way. Chaos Warrior again with the block, another knockdown but no armor break, and finally one more, and there we go. On our first turn, we start by standing a guy up, and then I realize I have to dodge him out before I do anything else. Then I decided to go for this Chaos Warrior over here, who's a bit isolated. I moved in 2 people to assist, and the Blitz. I was planning to, if the Blitz continued, to have both these guys assist again. Then I move up on this guy to try to punch a hole and go through, and I am successful. But however, I am so successful that I managed to stun a Goatman, or Beastman. This is a glitch there. I also managed to block off the hole that I created, so I can't really run through without dodging. But I decided to do that anyway, to do a dodge there. And it worked. Then we wanted to go away from the line, I suppose. Get everyone out of there. Should move that guy over there. It's more important that the guy was down. Okay, here it comes. Yeah, it worked. So that's the first turn. This will be a lot quicker this way. Maybe it's actually better to do it this way, I don't know. I think you want to hear my reason behind my moves more. Now the AI is gonna, of course, deal with this guy. Of course, because he's in contact with the ball carrier. It's Stallion who's been breaking through the line here. He's gonna get blitzed for his troubles, and he chooses the both down because he has block. And then the ball carrier actually moves down the other side. I thought he had prepared over here, but I guess he used those guys already to go back. So he's gonna set up a cage here, and I'm thinking, well, should I use my fireball? I couldn't use it on the first turn because he didn't really have any good spot for me to do it. I want to use the fireball as early as possible to get perhaps injuries, and I decided that this is a good opportunity. So there's the fireball. The ball carrier goes down and gets stunned, but the other 3 all resisted, so it didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. So I again go for this guy, and he gets block. We're both down, so I use block. Now I decide to go for this. I mark this Chaos Warrior because I want to get him away from the ball, so I blitz him. And it's a push, which will get him away from the ball, but also leaves this guy in trouble. So now I decide to go to pick up the ball. I first put a few guys around there in case things go wrong. Some guys that will be in position to perhaps move on to the end zone. I make a cage that I want to use for the ball carrier, and then I pick it up with the thrower here, Pete Stardust, and then I finish the cage in the corner that he was blocking before, and then move one more guy in, and I decide to try this because there's nothing else to do. So I run him up here, and hopefully he will be able to catch the ball, was my idea. The AI, of course, had other plans. He's very frightened of these 2 and be in scoring range. So he then decides to go for the cage on one side, and the front lineman is getting surrounded. And then he's going for this corner, maybe. Gets up another Goatman, who will just move a little bit back. And then he stands up his Chaos Warriors, and he decides to blitz the catcher instead. But he doesn't manage to get him down, he only gets a push. So there's a possibility that that guy can score. Now, he also throws a block down here, which is more successful, but it's looking pretty good for us now. I see that I have opportunity to get past here, if I can just get one of these guys out of the way, I decide to go for this guy, and I do get him knocked down. He has stand firm though, so I can't follow. That was one of the skills he had. Stand firms make it so you can't push them back or knock them back. So now I decide to put some guys up here and dodge out the receiver and put them in the end zone. My plan is to run up and pass straight into the end zone. I wanted to get some guys up here so in case it fails you have some people around the ball. But as you can see, it's a beautiful pass, easily caught, and a first touchdown. And that's how it goes when you have a fireball on their ball possession. You can turn their ball possession into one of your touchdowns. And that was the plan. I would hope to get a few players out. Now the only one who was knocked out got up. I still can't remember where we knocked that guy out. I couldn't. I remember that I couldn't remember in game, but I still can't remember. Now, second drive, same setup. We got an extra reroll, which was perhaps good. We will see. The kick was very short. If I'd gotten a blitz there, I could easily have caught this ball before the AI even had gotten a turn. The crawling monsters which we're playing here. Now, instead, he's still moving people up this side, but he's moving some people in here to guard the ball, and he tries to do pickup and fails. He rerolls, as he's wont to do on pickups, and he gets it. Then he blitzes a lineman, just like last time. Gets a knockdown. He then moves up on this flank to mark that side, just as the first time. He seems to be moving lots of players over here, I remarked on, even though the ball was on this side. So now he goes for the rest of the linemen. Gets only a knockback there. Goes one more guy in protection of the ball. And then goes for the last lineman. And only gets a push. And actually pushes our catcher here free, so we don't have to dodge out. Now I start by dodging one out. I realized that this Chaos Warrior is actually possible for me to... I was hoping to blitz him out of the field, so I put some guys in support even though it's pretty dangerous, but I rolled a down instead, so I couldn't push him out. I rolled actually a down and a both down, which would have put him right here. Then I sort of move people along the line here so that no one can get through. I realize I can't get to the ball this turn anyway, so I decide to not have any elves in contact except these guys who got in contact because of the blitz attempt. And then the AI started his turn. He's moving his players over to our right flank here. I can actually switch view if I want to and look at it from the AI side. That's something you can't do in-game, I don't think. So he was blitzing my players. Let's look at it from this view, we're more used to that. And then he actually managed to knock out the lineman here as well. And I'm getting a bit worried that these guys will actually be pushed off the field. Even though the AI is not very good at doing that. It's not a very clear shot. Sorry. He moves the ball a little bit infield and puts up a new cage around it. And we have some people on their backs. I stood up one guy because I needed to mark these players for the next goal I'm trying here. I want to get this guy out of the way, and then I wanted to blitz the ball carrier straight in here. And it managed. The first part goes well. The second part results in a both down, which would have done nothing, so I tried to re-roll that, and I got a push. Unfortunately, not good enough to get the ball. So now I go for a little bit of a Frenchy shot, and that was a bit of a ill-advised because it actually followed him a bit too far there, more than I would have liked. Some guys over on this side getting into better position. I'm trying to get one guy in scoring position, just in case. and usually that will distract the AI as well. Now I decide to move people away from this edge here, and him, well, he moved up as well. The AI then went for my bait over here. Stallion again in the enemy territory. So he puts 3 guys in marking of him, and then sort of protects the ball again, gets away from the line, goes behind us, and here comes a single die because he's sort of surrounded. He breaks off towards the back, so he's not surrounded anymore. Then he gets a push on one of the catchers. He decides to blitz our blitzer here, and he doesn't get a good roll, and then he re-rolls it, and the blitzer also has dodge. We have both block and dodge, so he couldn't get him down. But now the ball is very secure here, and this would have been good good fireball, but I don't have it anymore. I already spent it. So instead I use the lineman to punch one of the goats and actually get an injury. It's a very good punch there by Legolas. And then I tried to punch the next guy, but I had to re-roll because I didn't get a favorable punch. And then I managed to get a stun. So, actually breaking through the cage here. So now I blitz the ball carrier, rather, and I managed to get it down, and the ball knocks loose behind this cage. I was hoping to get it to the side. I tried to dodge through to get the ball, but the dodge failed and couldn't get there. I was a bit in my own way here. I wanted to get the catcher over there and perhaps throw it to this guy after he dodged out and ran all the way down. But the first dodge failed, so the AI picks the ball back up and then gets a tackle in. And then he tries to tackle our receiver up here, Stallion, and only gets a push, and also pushes him out of the way of his other people so he doesn't get another chance. Now he tries to rebuild this cage, put some people around the ball, does another block there, but didn't manage to get him down. More people around the ball, and one more block over here for good measure. Didn't manage to do anything with that. And back to our turn. This is our turn 7, so there's only 2 more turns. I decided to get some people up in scoring position here, just in case we manage to get the ball. Then I surround this Chaos Warrior, try to get him out of the way. I do manage to do it. I don't follow up there because I want this space to run through. But instead I get only pushes here, so I have to try to knock him out with my lineman here. And with a reroll I finally managed to make a little bit of a space for me to run through and get to the ball carrier. And then I still do it with this guy because I wanted to get the ball with someone here, but I couldn't manage to get anything but a push. So I then surround the ball carrier, hoping to get the ball in our last turn, perhaps able to get a touchdown somehow. Dodge through a little bit, get more people in scoring position, and well, here goes the AI. His last turn, he's standing people up, and then he blitzes the guy who's close to the ball carrier, and he has to reroll that, but he gets the down. And this is actually a stun. No, it's a knockout, sorry. So you won't be able to get the ball with that person. Then he runs the ball forward a little bit and sets up a new cage around it. At this point I didn't think I was gonna get the ball. He is a bit indecisive where he wants his corners of the cage to go. And then for some reason he runs up here with the last guy instead of finishing off his cage. So He does get a push over there, but it doesn't really matter. So now my plan is to get a guy in here and then blitz the ball out here and then catch it and throw it all the way up there. So I managed to get him down, get the guy into assist, and then I'm hoping to get it down here, but it's only a push. And at that point, well, there's really nothing more to do because there's no more turns, except for throw a few 2-die blocks where it's possible. And then I thought the AI had one more turn. So, well, I ran him into the end zone just because. I wanted to bait the AI to go after him, and then I dodged everyone out of the way, thinking the AI had one more move. And I also put a lineman over here so that it would attack him instead, and, well, that was totally unnecessary because half time. So, first half ended with 1-0 in our favor, because we got that ball loose with the fireball. Now in the second half we will be receiving the ball instead. So I'm gonna replace my players because as you can see they're in the default position with a very wide formation. I decided to go for the right flank here. So I'm setting up people with block skill to get this guy out of the way, and then I'm planning to run up and blitz this guy out of the way, and then hopefully get the ball to one of the catchers with 8 movement that can move very far and perhaps put up a bit of a screen to protect the ball carrier and get a quick touchdown. And so the thrower is over here. I decided to put one catcher near the thrower to relay the ball forward if needed. And the kick from the opponents. And I got an extra reroll again. Very nice. And it's kind of good. I decided to go with the pickup first because it's a rather safe move. And then I decided not to throw it here because it's a little bit too far. Instead I used the handoff. And then I will relay it forward later. But first I will try to open the path. So there was the first block, it was successful. Then I had to run around a little bit because I didn't have enough space. This is the assist to get this guy possibly surfed out. But again I rolled it down, so I couldn't push him into the crowd with the frenzy. Instead I moved the blitzer into block position. This was a lineman, so he couldn't move very far, so I put him to block this guy. This runner, or this receiver, or catcher, he went all the way there, and then I decided I have to throw a pass because I already used the handoff. I did go one back there because I don't remember why I went one back. Anyway, I made a pass, and then I dodged one lineman out to get a better screen, and then I decided to dodge the rest of the linemen out as well because you don't need to get punched if not necessary. So the plan worked pretty well, and the AI is now left to try and figure out how to stop this guy from scoring a touchdown, even though he has enough movement to move all the way into the end zone next time. And the AI doesn't have any movement to get over here, and he could dodge through and try to blitz him, but it's a difficult thing to dodge through when your agility is 3 or less. But what will the AI attempt? He hasn't done his blitz yet. He moves people up to here. Hopefully he's hopeful that he will be able to blitz me next time, maybe. And here's his blitz. He decides to go for this guy. He does get a triple die, but only a push. And he's still in the way. So what do I want to do? I decided to go for this guy because he's right on the line and I wanted to push him out. But again, I get a down instead of the push I would have needed to get the good position. And after that I just ran in a touchdown because I didn't want to dodge anything else. So that's our second touchdown. Our tier 2, the new player, or the replacement player, gets a touchdown in his first game. And as you remember, we injured one goatman. He's still not back, but the opposition has many replacements. They have 2 more just standing there waiting. Again, here's the kick, which is a throw. They get a free move, which they never use. The ball lands right in the hands of their goatman, but he couldn't pick it up. He couldn't hold on to it. So instead they move forward, again on the left flank. Seems to be the AIs use the same tactics if they're faced with the same situation. Non-surprisingly. Even though it didn't work last time. They don't learn. So he picks up the ball, no problem again. Well, he had problem once, but not this time. Then he blitzes the lineman, and this time he gets an armor break. But fortunately it's just a stun. And he keeps stacking up on the left side, our left side. Yes, his right side if we were to look from his perspective. And then more bashes on the lineman. This one is not an armor break. And finally he rolls a skull. Means he gets punched instead. He didn't use a reroll for that because he was pretty much done with his turn and he didn't really leave an opening for me. Now here I will try. I spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to break free by kicking both of these Chaos Warriors down. I thought I had figured it out and I managed to get a push to get an extra on this one, and then I realized, well, while I managed to push both of the Chaos Warriors aside, I should have used the other guy last to get an opening to get through. And then I fail a dodge, and I decide not to reroll it because we already have a pretty good line and there was nothing more we could do there anyway. The AI then decides to go for the other flank with the ball. He feigns to the left and then goes to the right. Puts up his cage. More beastmen moving. And well, we've seen this a few times. Puts up, moves as far right as he can go. Then he decides to stand up and blitz this lineman. Gets a block, which is good enough because he has block. He gets them both down. So now I decide to go for this guy because I already had one guy in contact. And before I try it, I want to put some more guys in defense because it was pretty open otherwise. So I move some players down as safety, and then I try the block. It's successful. I decide not to follow up, I think. I did get a armor break, apparently. So he's stunned out there. So now what I'm gonna go for this Chaos Warrior. Have to make a dodge. And then this Blitzer rolls double skulls. I reroll into one of the push things. I kind of wanted to push him back so I could move up there and then have a blitz opportunity on this guy with one extra from him. But instead I knock one more Beastman, Chaos Warrior out of the way and move away from him. So now he's trying to surround the end of my defensive line over here. Get the guys who were sort of left behind. Stand back up on the cage here. And then he decides to blitz through my blitzer. That roll was not good enough, and then he re-rolled and got the same result. And got stunned instead. So now I see my chance. First I decide to get rid of this Chaos Warrior, I believe. Yes. And I got the push back. I follow up to make some room here. And then I go for the blitz. With him as assist, I get the knockdown. And now I don't follow up because I didn't want to get stuck there. But then the ball landed in front of me, so I couldn't run around, which was my plan. So I had to go in there anyway. And then I pick the ball up, and I run through. And then I try to get some guys into a screen, but I fail on a 5 in 6 chance dodge with a free reroll. So I actually rolled 1 twice in a row. Now if you roll 1 twice in a row, your turn is usually over, no matter what. So that left the ball carrier completely unprotected. A screen here and we would have had a pretty easy touchdown probably. But now he's gonna blitz the ball carrier. And he only gets a push, but the ball carrier gets stuck on the sideline. This is not very good. I also didn't have time to move these guys out of harm's way because of that failed dodge. So what he does is he tries to knock him down, fails, only gets a push. He does manage to knock this guy down though. And he also gets an armor break. But it's just a stun, nothing to worry about. And then he throws another block over here, this is only a push. But it leaves me very far from the ball carrier. I can't really get to him to help him get out of this situation. So I decide to go do something different. I run up here in the middle and I try to set up a cage. Now I failed my first attempt at dodging. This time I can reroll it because I didn't have the skill dodge. I had to use my own reroll though. So this is where I tried to put up a cage over there. And then I realized I should just have knocked this guy down before trying to dodge. Instead of knock him down later. So I dodge some guys out and make sort of a cage here. And then the plan will be to dodge this guy out and throw the pass into the cage over here. And as you can see, I managed to dodge, and the pass, trying to intercept, it goes wide. The pass goes wrong, but it lands in the hands of the other receiver, which I thought would be a turnover, but it wasn't. So I was sort of debating whether that should be a turnover or not. Then I tried to run some guys in to maybe protect this guy who is not in the middle of the cage, and I stumbled. But I at least got one more guy in protection. Now I'm a bit worried that he will try to push this catcher over here outside, but I'm not sure if the AI would do such a thing. He normally takes these sorts of opportunities, but in this case, as we will see, he won't do it. Spoiler. Because he wants to blitz the ball carrier, of course. So he moves in some people to guard this cage. Best of his abilities. He also puts a lot of people to guard this lineman over here for some reason. And then he blitzes the ball carrier. And he manages only to get defender stumbles, which is a dodge in this case, because this catcher has dodge. And then he only gets a push. Pushes me back towards cage. Now here I realized that, well, to get out of there I really have to dodge out this way. And to dodge out this way I have to get rid of this Chaos Warrior. But to get this Chaos Warriors out of the way I need to get these guys free. So I get to knock this Chaos Warrior down first. And then I move this Blitzer in over here. So I have a double die with this lineman. And I roll it down. And all that's left is the dodge out. I do stand this guy up just in case anything goes wrong. And here's the dodge, and it's successful. So the touchdown is scored. But a little bit of a bad pass, but it was failed in such a way that it landed in the hands of another player, which was lucky. But there was no SPP for that pass, even though it didn't count as a turnover. the strange thing which I was talking about in the first recording was that I've had passes that have been missed and then bounced back into the player's hands. So, like, it lands next to him and then scatters back into the hands of the player. And that was a turnover. And I've had people fumble it, and then it lands on the top of a player that's down beside them and then bounce back into their hands. And that's a turnover. And I've had someone fumble it into the hands of someone next to them who's on their team. And that's also a turnover. So it's strange that it's not a turnover when you throw an inaccurate pass that happens to be caught by one of your players. Now the next kick, there's only 2 turns left for him and 1 turn left for us. I debated whether to just put my guys over at the line to have them safe. I decided to go for it in just in case we could get perhaps a blitz and run up and catch the ball and then score a touchdown on our turn. But it was not a blitz, it was a high kick, so he got a free attempt at catching it. Didn't do it. Now he tries to pick it up, fails, and tries again and fails. So what we will do now is to throw all the blocks and dodges we need to do. This guy, for instance, we tried to knock down. We wanted to get an injury here so Gilgalad could level up. Didn't get it. Then I decided to block this guy because he was in position with Artia, our new guy. Wanted him to get an injury perhaps, didn't get it. Didn't get one. And then I decided, well, there's no point in really trying to blitz anyone, there's no good position. So he has dodged the lineman out to keep him as safe as possible. And then let the AI take the last turn. And there's really nothing the AI can do here. He can make 1 blitz, exactly. Or try to pick up the ball. So he moves in on Artia over here. Artia the second. Moves 1 guy into assist, who's not really assisting because he's marked. And he then makes sort of a cage, I guess. Puts a guy in front. And then he stands all his guys up. And then he tries to go for the ball again. And it's good. And then the blitz. He decides to blitz a lineman out here. Gilgalad. And he gets him down. And that's the game. So, there we go. Here's the screen you couldn't see earlier, where I chose watch replay. Yeah, 3-0. We got 3 touchdowns through 2 passes. Wait, does that count the pass that was incomplete? That was thrown to another player? No, there was one. No, there was 1 pass that was a touchdown, and then there was 1 pass which we used to move the ball up for our second touchdown in the pickup phase. So the pass that ended up in the hands of the player he wasn't aiming for is not counted. So there you go. We had more armor breaks than they did. We only suffered 3 armor breaks, which is very good defense, or well, avoidance really. The statistics, we should look at those. We had more ball possession than we usually do. We had more running. 28 yards passing is quite a lot. We threw some long passes there. And only 1 knockout was the only armor break we had, except for stuns. They did throw... No, we did more blocks. So, yeah, there you go. And in the SPP, Solas got MVP. He had 0 SPP before, so he didn't level up. He's still level 1. Legolas got injury, as you remember. A pass from Evandar and 1 pass from Pete Stardust. 2 touchdowns for Stallion and 1 touchdown for Artia the second. So that's the game. And then I looked, of course, this is our history. Here you can see all our matches. As you can see, we have won all our matches and we haven't let in a touchdown yet. So, well, that's good enough. I was saying that we should look at the league statistics, but I decided we shouldn't do that yet. We should do that after the next game, because that will be the halfway point of the season. This is game 7 of 15, so I guess you could say we're at the halfway point already. Well, since this is a shorter video, we should probably just look at it now. This is just our statistics though. We had 3 casualties, injuries. Only one of them was serious though. We have 10 players knocked out. We have injured 36 players. Is that really true? That can't be right. We haven't injured 36 players in 7 games. If that was like how many we have knocked out, then I would be inclined to believe it. But it says here we've only inflicted 12 knockouts. That might be right. We've sustained 10 knockouts, but injured players 36. That must be wrong somehow. Here it says injuries inflicted 44, which sounds even more strange. 1 kill. I think that's correct. We got that in our first game. 5 casualties inflicted. 1 kill inflicted. I don't get it. I've never looked at the statistics really. We scored 2 touchdowns on average. 5 casualties inflicted. Is that like... That must be injuries, right? We've caused 5 injuries? That sounds right. 1 kill. That's probably right. 44 injuries inflicted. That must be something else. And then we have injured players. Is that how many of ours have been injured? But that's casualties. Our casualties is our injuries. This is how many knockouts. This must be how many stuns we've got, I suppose. Or how many armor breaks there has been. Yeah, that could be right. We've had 44 armor breaks. Oh well. Interesting. Let's have a look at our team. Both our catchers, well, our old catchers leveled up to level 3. We won't do that now though, that'll be in the next video. And our new catcher slash spare lineman got 3 points. As you can see, everyone on the team now has SPP. Chandia has only got 1, but some others are getting close to level up. Gilad, Solas, Varsuvius, all 1 point away. And I want to get, well, would like to get block on everyone on the line, so we can get some people down easier. But for now, let's go back and look at the league statistics, because that's what I wanted to do here. So let's press the round robin, I think. This is where you click, and here you can look at the leaderboard. So we see we're in the lead, of course, we won every game. The Dark Elf team, Venomous Hearts, is the 2nd place so far, with 6 wins and 1 loss. I'm not sure, but I think those are the guys we'll play in the next game. So it will be an early league final here. We have the Smashers, a human team. I don't think we've faced them yet. The Last Dragons, another High Elf team. I'm pretty sure we haven't played them. Dark Swarms, a Skaven team. I don't think we've met them either. So we really only played against... We just played the crawling monsters down here. We faced the Ironhead Drillers. Remember that. We played the Demonic Crushers and the Greenskin Skulls. Greenskin Skulls. Thank you. Shining Swords. I'm not sure if we played them. We have played the Raging Revengers, the Tormented Crushers, and Feather Swarm. So I guess those guys were so demoralized by losing to us that they've had a terrible start to the season. Feather Swarm hasn't won a single game. Strange, Listenmen are usually pretty good. I think, isn't there some way we can look at the single player statistics? Like who's scored the most touchdowns and stuff like that? Maybe you have to go to this one. The Hall of Fame, I think it is. But we can't click the Hall of Fame for some reason. You can only look at all the teams here, but that's not very interesting. Oh well. So that's the standing of things. Yes, we are playing the Venomous Heart next time. So that'll be an exciting match. The halfway point of the season, and we're playing the number 2 ranked team after us. And the team values will be pretty even once we level up 2 of our players as well. So again, I apologize for this episode not having the live commentary, but I hope you enjoyed it, even though with my post commentary. And well, if you enjoyed it, then I hope you will be back and watch the rest of the season, where Zoosa's players will keep on hopefully winning, perhaps hopefully not letting in a single touchdown all season. The iron defensive line of the High Elf team. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. But for now, take care and goodbye.